All right. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you are in. Interesting market this morning, huh? So we talked about it in yesterday's show. We cashed out those Ford calls. We got a nice, huge gain on that. But remember something, guys. When we talked about this on the show about a week or so ago, when Ford had that earnings report, right? Great earnings report. Let's kind of do a little quick synopsis on this trade. Great earnings report, right? Great promise for the future. But remember what we said on the show. And I'm going to tell you two things you learned on this show that you didn't hear anywhere else. One was the Ford, right? We said buy Ford under $12. Why? Because they had talked about it, right? What shocked the Ford trade was they said that they were going to lose 50% production over the second quarter. But what people didn't hear was they also said that was going to start resolving itself in the middle of the second quarter. If you look at the date, it was the middle of the second quarter. We also knew they had the investor show. We also knew that they're catching up, right? They're starting to eat Tesla's lunch, and companies like that, GM, Ford, Volkswagen, they're all starting to eat Tesla's lunch. You can buy a 600 PE stock in Tesla with no dividends, right? Nothing but the opportunity for price acceleration. You can buy a GM, right? Get it for a great PE. You can buy a Ford and get an even better PE, right? What is a Ford PE, like 6 or something like that? But the key was what was said. You see how the market gets hysterical, right? You saw it in Bitcoin last week. You saw it in you see it in a lot of stocks, right? The market gets hysterical and it just loses its mind. And we always teach you guys, keep your composure, keep your emotions out of trading, and focus on charts. But listen. Don't just read CNBC's headline. Don't just listen to somebody pounding the table on some news show. Read yourself. And we saw that, right? That they were going to resolve it. And guess what? Then we got coupled in with a bunch of other stuff, right? We had the investor show where they released this great program they've got for electric vehicles. They've got over 70,000 reservations already for the F-150. They've got more reservations than Tesla has sales. Right. So somebody in our live room asked this morning, can they keep up with the production? Well, they're only limited. This is Ford. They're used to pumping out millions of vehicles, right? And that's what we talked about in the thesis for why you should get some Ford. They have these facilities ready. They have these engineers that are top engineers ready to go. All they had to do was catch up on the technology. All they had to do was start putting the investment money into the sector, which is the EVs, right? And now it's happening. So we bought that under $12. We bought some $13 calls along with it, right? We tapped out those $13 calls for huge profits. A lot of our members kept a contract or two, so they're going to take the stock at 13. Why not? Ford's almost $15 this morning. And now all from staying calm and reading, not taking the media's word for it, not listening to CNBC's. They're going to focus on the crazy stuff, right? They're just all into the meme stocks right now. There's no other stock market at CNBC right now except for Bitcoin and the meme stocks, right? If you're not in those, you're not going to get any good advice. We still like Charles Payne at Fox Business show. We like to watch Charles Payne. He's probably the best financial show in the world. If you don't watch Charles Payne, take some time. He's in the hour before the closing hour. He comes on before Liz Clayman. But yeah, check him out. That's where we get a lot of good tips and a lot of good notices. And then the second one is Bitcoin, right? How emotional did that trade get last week? And we'll talk about it on tomorrow's crypto show when we recap the week in crypto. We called it, right? We said how that chart would go. We said we saw the capitulation bar. We saw the confirmation on the capitulation bar. And now we would go sideways, break that downtrend. Your resistance is 40,000. As soon as it takes out 40,000, it will resume its bull run. Be patient, right? We watched YouTubes, right, where people were just sell your Bitcoin, get out of crypto. It's the end, going to zero, blah, 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 right? All right. Well, we're now sitting at some crypto that we bought at 34K. How nice is that? But we're hodlers too. We're not looking to sell those yet. You know, and everybody's saying 500,000 at the end of the year. Hey, you sell in May, right? It's like Jesus Christ. You buy these Bitcoins and you save $500,000 at the end of the year, and then you on the first turn down you sell in mid-year. You don't even give it an opportunity. That's petulant trading. That's emotional trading. Stay off the emotions. Use your technical analysis. And I'll give you this, the best advice I can give all, especially you new investors out there. Sometimes it's okay to just turn it off and walk away. If it's starting to get you bubbling and stuff, and you're starting to get crazy in the head, you're looking at that shot of whiskey like maybe I should have one now. Just turn it off and walk away. It'll be there when you get back. Clear your head. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's get into the stock market today. It's an interesting stock market day today. In fact, let's pop on over to CNBC together. Let's see if I can figure out the share screen. I've only been doing it for about 3 months now. There you go. All right. So there's CNBC, and you can see the job picture, man. So we had a decent unemployment report this morning. Those new claims are starting to come down, and that's what we've been talking about, right? It's kind of a two-phase thing with labor. The first thing is you want to stop the new claims so it stops filling up the continuing claims, right? And so now we're starting to see that effect. The big question was, right, over the last couple of weeks, will the social welfare, the extensions in the unemployment, the beefing up of the unemployment amounts and stuff, will this create a conundrum for labor? And it looked like last week it was starting to, but like we told you last week, don't panic, don't get your panties into a bunch, because 1 week doesn't make a trend. And you see it's kind of resolving that. So we want to see a little bit more in the reports, but it's a very positive, and you can see the market's reacting to it. The Dow's up about 150 points, the S&P's up about 13, and the Nasdaq's up about 30 points. This morning when the Nasdaq was a little red, we took up a QQQ position just for you guys following along. We bought some puts or some calls going out for, I think we bought them out to the 18th, about mid-month. We're still in the energy play, guys. And you can see oil, right? We watched it this morning in our live room with our members. It started off ugly, right? A little bit red, looked like the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. Patience, watch your charts, and just let things do what they do. We're pushing 67 now. We still think there's a good chance we're going to get those triple digits, maybe by the middle or the end of summer. Maybe even quicker. You never know, right? Some hacker comes along and hits a pipeline or something again. I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to play that. Let's pop on over to gold. Guys, we've been talking to you guys, you gold bugs, right? We're not big gold traders. We'll play GLD every now and then when we see something we really like. But like I was telling you, for you gold bugs out there, how those round numbers, right? We were talking about it. 1900. You see how it hit that 1900, guys, and it's kind of having a little problem right now. But again, those round numbers are important for some reason with the gold chart. And if it does take and hold that 1900, you're probably looking at a move maybe to 1950, maybe even a challenge at 2000. So for you gold bugs, keep your chin up. It hasn't broke down. It just hasn't broke up. Did that make any sense? It hasn't gone down, but it hasn't gone up. It's like, good job, Pat. That's some intense analysis. And let's go look at the crypto world, right? So we talked about it, right? Bitcoin, how it found its bottom. It would go a little sideways, break that downtrend, go into a little churn, right? Because that was heavy action, right? Last week. It needs to digest that. It needs to move money around. It needs to move things into hodlers' hands and things like that. It challenged 40,000. We can go take a look real quick at the chart. I don't want to make this too long of a show on Thursday, but no, we're not supporting CNBC. You guys overpaid anyways. You can see this morning, let's go with a 1-day chart. You can see this morning, it actually hit 40,000, and it looked like it was going to hold a little bit, but it came back off that. It looks like it's found a little support there, maybe at about 39,000. But right now, it's just in that digestion. If you look at a 1-month chart, let's look at a 1-week chart. And see, that's what we're talking about there. We had that big, ugly event, right? Big, ugly event where it went all the way down. In fact, we need a bigger chart for that. And you see where it went boom, 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 boom. We called that capitulation. We called it on Friday in the live show. If you ignored all these crazies on YouTube telling you to sell your crypto and you had taken and you had added to your position or created a position at that level, look how happy you are right now. And the chart told us. For you guys that want to follow a little closer, you watch the crypto show tomorrow. Other than that, guys, let's kind of pop back on over to CNBC and let's see. Hey, you got Yellen wants to spend more money, of course. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same old broken record for most of these guys. For a lot of you longtime wealth builders like me, we've been watching this for years and years and years. Other than that, guys, the meme stocks are back in action, right? GameStop, AMC, and stuff like that. So that's keeping CNBC a little bit occupied right now. They're ignoring the real news. Other than that, guys, let's call it a week, or not call it a week, but let's call it a day. Like I said, we've cashed out that Ford, but we're still living high off the hog on those shares that we bought under $12, and we'll keep those for a while. We think Ford is just in the beginning of a big recovery in the stock, maybe back to $30, $40, but now that they've established this plan for the electronic vehicles, which is a fantastic plan, now that they've showed that they can sell an electronic vehicle with this F-150, right, with the frunk and everything, they've got 70,000 reservations already for this. Like I told you guys a few days ago, there was somebody on one of the news shows pounding their table saying, no way Ford can sell electronic vehicles. They're going to be priced out of the market, right? Well, 70,000 people say you're wrong. And that F-150 base model starts at about 40 grand, which is very affordable, right, for a new car, especially an electric vehicle. So, let's kind of just call it an afternoon. Like I said, we own the shares, but we're out of the Ford contracts. If you guys are following along, we're still in the energy play, the Suncor, the XLE, and the ET out to them. First one is, I think, the middle of June, which is the XLE, but then the other ones are all the way out to end of July. And so one of them, the Suncor, is out to September. So we're letting that gel, and it's going as much exactly as planned. Remember what we talked about when we opened this trade a while ago? We were looking at the energy sector. We wanted to get some good coverage. So we took ET, that was an under $10 stock at the time, right? It's now over $10. We took the Suncor because we like that as nice Canadian company, good balance sheet, and plus to a focus on renewable energy, which is green energy, which we like, right? And then we took the big boy, right? If you're going to buy the sector, right? We bought the XLE. So we'll let that work out. Oil's pushing $67 now. We're going into Memorial Day, which we felt was going to be our first trigger for a real move with oil. All we were concerned about is states or whatever reshutting down and stuff like they did the last time. We were in an energy play at the end of maybe about 3/4 into last year, third quarter. We opened up an energy play because we were starting to open up. And remember, we had the second shutdown and that just destroyed the play. That was our only concern, getting to Memorial Day without all this COVID insanity kicking back in. In Hawaii, we're 70% first shots. In the United States, I think the Biden administration announced yesterday that we're at about 50% for the country. Everything's progressing forward. The only thing that's dragging on the oil market right now is your foreign countries, right? Your Indias, your Japans, and stuff like that, which are taking a lot longer to get the COVID under control. But the United States, China, Canada are huge consumers, and that's enough to drive it while those others are coming around. So I don't know. That's just our thoughts. So look, guys, let's see how this market plays out the rest of the day. And like I said, we opened up some queues this morning, some calls, and we'll play those out. But other than that, we're going to stay off the board except for the energy play, which is about a month out. And we'll let things kind of digest and ease into the weekend. Don't forget, cats, tomorrow the market closes at 2 o'clock. It's a half day. Not really a half day. It's only 2 hours off, but you know what I mean? We'll be taking a half day. Tomorrow the market closes at 2 o'clock. And don't forget, the market is closed on Monday in honor of Memorial Day. We did not get a Memorial Day last year. Let's go enjoy Memorial Day this year. God bless America. You can see America, don't bet against America. Warren Buffett, truer words are never spoken by him. You can see how the market, you can see how the economy, you can see how the job market, everything is bouncing back, and it's pretty much bouncing back ahead of the rest of the world. Go figure. All right, guys, let's close with that. Don't forget, tomorrow we got the crypto wrap up, and we got some bragging to do, right, on that chart call we made. It's kind of like the Ford call we made. Anyways, we're making all kinds of calls. All right. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.